Football is back. The Seahawks just had their first preseason game last Saturday, and even if you just casually watched the game, you will have probably noticed Byron Murphy. Yes, this is just preseason, but I think Murphy showed everything that made him the Seahawks' first-round pick in this one game. So let's dive into the film. I think the thing that makes Byron Murphy a very unique player is the fact that he can absolutely play nose tackle for you, but he's also quick and explosive enough to play 3 technique. Very few players in the league can do both of these roles, and Murphy showed that he is great at both of them in his debut. Let's look at this amazing nose tackle type play from Murphy. Here he is aligned as the 2-eye, and the Chargers are running inside zone right at him. This concept allows you to get combo blocks on the interior defensive lineman, and that is huge. Combo blocks are a technique where you use a double team initially to get displacement, and then you have one blocker work up to the second level. The issue is that they can't go through Byron Murphy. He completely destroys the combo block that they try to move him with. This was something that he showed in college, and it's great to see him demonstrate it in the NFL. He uses the dead leg technique a lot. He has the instincts and quickness to recognize that this is going to be a double team almost instantly, and he drops his near leg to the ground. This is the dead leg technique, and it basically anchors him to the ground, and that has been one of his cheat codes that allows him to play far above his weight class on the inside. Watch how even with 600 pounds of blockers attacking him, he basically doesn't move because he's using that dead leg technique. Now, this technique wouldn't be super useful if he wasn't able to get out of it. Of course, it's really difficult to make a play when you're just on the ground, so Murphy needs to be able to disengage from this and emerge to go chase the ball, and this is exactly what he does. I want to highlight how important it is that he was able to hold up, and especially the fact that he was able to take both of these players and basically not let them move at all. Again, they were hoping to blow him off the ball with the double team, and not only did that not happen, but he also slowed them up enough for Tyrese Knight, the linebacker that they were supposed to be working up to. He was able to scrape over the top and join the tackle. This is not a routine play by any means. The quick recognition and the strength that it takes to pull this off is no joke. But Murphy made a living off of this in college, and this type of elite run defense is what's going to allow him to get on the field early in the NFL. But he also shows the 3 technique trait of just being a fantastic gap shooter in the run game. Here the Chargers are trying to run mid-zone, but Murphy just blows it up by himself. This is a good time to remind everyone that yes, this is a backup interior offensive lineman for the Chargers, but really the most that you can ask from Murphy is that he dominates lesser competition, and dominate he does. I think one of his best traits in run defense is how quickly he knows where he's being blocked from. Within just frames of the snap, he's already exploding towards the center and giving him the full force of his strength. Murphy completely takes him by surprise, as most defensive tackles are not able to unload like this so quickly, and so Murphy emerges nearly instantly in the backfield and is able to disengage for the tackle. These are the rare one-man wrecking crew type plays, and although this guy is a backup, the ease at which Murphy did this is really encouraging. But Byron Murphy is so much more than just a run stuffer. Let's look at this play that highlights how he is such an athletic rusher and is able to really get after the quarterback. Here the Hawks are trying to run a stunt with Byron Murphy and Boye Mafe on the right side. The design is for Murphy to take over the edge rush responsibility by working towards the outside and getting contained. Then Mafe is going to loop to the inside and hopefully get a massive running start on some poor center or guard. Murphy does his part flawlessly. He easily occupies the guard and the tackle, and even almost splits this double team. Unfortunately, Mafe kind of gets blown out of the play by the tight end, so he isn't there to loop around and pay off this excellent setup by Murphy. I've heard some people talk about how this shows how much respect Murphy is already getting. That's not really true. They were just sliding towards his side, and Mafe wasn't there. So yes, 3 guys did end up blocking him. I want him to be Aaron Donald as much as the next Hawks fan, and I get the freeze frames like this are really fun, but this is really just how the play ended up happening. It's not like the Chargers were trying to send 3 guys towards him. That's just kind of how it ended up. This play actually does turn into a highlight for Mafe as he gets to the deflection by running all the way across the entire field, but I do want to highlight how Murphy is the setup man on these stunts and how good he was at this role. He has the speed and he has the power to really contain the edge and occupy blockers. This is just going to be deadly, and I can't wait to see Mafe, Nwosu, Draymond Jones, anyone lining up on the edge, and watch how they're going to be able to pay this off. I'm telling you that Murphy really did show the entire package, so now let's look at how he did when he was the guy unlocked by the stunt. This just looks like a nightmare to block. The Seahawks have basically overloaded the left side of the offensive line with Morris and Murphy lined up right next to each other, and this makes the stunt even more difficult to see and switch off. Mike Morris actually does a really good job of occupying two players, and that allows Murphy to get the angle. I know that I keep talking about the combination of speed and power that this guy has, but it really is unreal. Now he uses his power to quickly split these players and close on the quarterback. This play was amazing, but unfortunately it did have a sour ending as Murphy wasn't able to bring down the quarterback to finish the play. This is something that you unfortunately did see a little bit in college, and he really isn't that great at finishing the job once he lines himself up. I'm not really concerned about it yet. I think this is something that he can easily improve at, but it really does suck that he didn't get his first NFL sack right there. Still, this was an amazing play, and it really does fill me with so much optimism for this guy as a pass rusher. McDonald is absolutely going to use him on stunts, and he's going to be really good in that role. Outside of these snaps, he was a consistent bull rushing presence. It's kind of tough to analyze because these are backups, but I think he looked really solid when he wasn't involved in these stunts, and we really need to watch that against better competition, but I'm pretty confident that he's going to just provide that solid pocket pushing presence that you really do need from your interior rushers, so I'm excited to watch him in that role as well. Murphy showed everything in this one game that he showed in college, and he absolutely looks the part. I hope that you agree with me that he has an amazing combination of that nose tackle power and that three technique explosiveness and speed. That skill set is really unique, and it's going to be the foundation of his game. I just can't wait to follow him throughout the preseason and into the regular season. Before we end the video, I do want to try to start a new segment called the Hidden Highlight. So let me know in the comments if you like this. A hidden highlight is really just what it sounds. It's a highlight play that isn't super obvious if you were just watching the broadcast. For this week's Hidden Highlight, let's compare how the Seahawks ran cover 3 last year to how they ran it in their recent game. One of the things that I found most annoying about the Seahawks defense last year, which really is a true accomplishment because there's so many problems, but the way that they matched up against the Yankee and flood concepts was so bad, and Shanahan just gashed them on it continuously. Yankee is simply a post and an over route, so anything that can take the defender deep and then have someone come right underneath him. And this really is a cover 3 beater if you don't know how to match up against it. And trust me, the Hawks matched up against it terribly. The issue is that they were trying to pass it off. When the crosser exits his corner zone, the corner tries to pass him off, and the idea is that the flat defender and the play side corner can kind of pick this up, but this almost never happens. There's really always someone in the flat to draw down that player, and the post is going to draw the corner, so usually this is just completely unguarded. The fact that this is so easy to bust this coverage is just wild to me, and Shanahan loved this. This was one of his favorite things about playing the Seahawks, I'm sure, because he just had an easy way to get 20 yards whenever he wanted. So now let's look at how Mike McDonald likes to defend the Yankee concept, because the Hawks matched up against it so much better. Again, this is cover 3, just like in the last clip, but this time the backside corner is told to carry the over route all the way across. This is much more of a man match adjustment where he matches to the player instead of just backing up into his zone, and this works flawlessly. Reek Woolen is able to get right there and lets a pick go right through his fingers. This should have been an interception instead of a complete coverage bust as it was last year. To me, this shows that Mike McDonald really has modernized this scheme, and he has the modern solutions that you need in order to run cover 3, which is a coverage that he likes. Cover 3 is still the most popular coverage in the NFL, but it was the lack of adjustments like this that really held the Hawks back when they ran cover 3 last year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked that last segment. Let me know down in the comments. If you want even more Legions of 12 content, go to the Patreon where I'll have videos coming up soon. Thanks for watching, and go Hawks.